Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Sorry I haven't been getting videos out very quickly recently. I really do plan to make a lot of videos for this channel. I know that I just started it not too long ago, but I have been super busy with school. This week is midterms week, but I just had to get this review out. I also have a First Impressions of Halo Infinite Season 3 video coming out soon, and a Sons of the Forest Early Access review video coming out soon. I just gotta find the free time to make them. But I just finished The Last of Us, the TV show, and I had to make this video immediately because, man, what a show. So to kick things right off, I just gotta say, I loved this show. I thought this show was probably one of the best video game adaptations, and we're gonna get into multiple genres as to why I think this show is great. And so yeah, let's just get started right off the bat. For story, the story stays pretty much entirely true with the source material, and after having just played Last of Us Part 1 recently, maybe 3 or 4 months ago on the PlayStation, I can say that this may be the best video game adaptation I have ever seen, especially when compared to something like Max Payne, Sonic, and especially the Halo TV show. Not that Sonic was bad, they're definitely enjoyable movies, and I love Jim Carrey, but obviously they're not completely perfect with the source material. Obviously, though, we will have to wait one more month, but I also do have high hopes with the Super Mario Brothers movie. I think that's shaping up to be an absolute hit. And for anyone who's about to give me crap for only having just played Last of Us for the first time recently, it's because I didn't have a PlayStation back in the day when the first one came out, so I was actually never able to experience the original, unfortunately. Moving forward, characters. I believe Tess was a strong adaptation of her video game counterpart, and unfortunately, the real actress for Tess passed away this year in January due to cancer, which is very upsetting, as I would have loved to see her talent be on the big screen. May she rest in peace. She brought a wonderful character to life in the video game, and for all of us who played the games, we'll cherish that. Marlene, played by her video game actress, was perfect as expected. She killed it, playing her same character for almost over a decade now, like she never lost touch with that character, and her demise is still just as brutal and unforgiving as it was all those years ago. Tommy, not much to say about his character. I think the actor did an amazing job, and you could feel the brotherly bond between him and Joel very well. And he fleshed out Joel as a character as well, a little bit more than what we got in the games, in my opinion. David, he was just as weird and as insane as he was in the games, and I love that they basically didn't touch anything or change much with his character, and the only changes that they did make just made you dislike him more. And a fun fact, all the changes they made to David were based off of the cut lines and scripts initially intended for his character in the original video game, regarding his obsession with religion and his cult leader-like status. Ellie, though I wasn't sold on her at first, I think it was around episode 4 or 5 which I really started to like this portrayal of her. I still think Ashley Johnson is the best version of Ellie, but obviously she's much older than to play her in live action at this point, but seeing her be Ellie's mom was a great Easter egg for the final episode. Overall, Ellie was fantastic and really brought me around in the end and made me believe that's who she was, though I still much prefer the game version. Bill, not much to say here as well. I think he was greatly casted, and it was easily Nick Offerman's greatest performance in a very long time. The character was probably changed the most, but they still kept intact his end-of-days lifestyle, and he was fun to watch when killing things, whether it be from his trap or when the raiders try to get in, and he's shooting them out on the street. There was a lot of great work there. Also, Henry and Sam were perfectly casted, I think. And the only thing that was slightly changed with their character, though they're pretty much the same exact characters from the game, was the fact that Sam was deaf and that Henry somehow pissed off Kathleen by killing his brother or something like that. Kind of weak with that change in particular, but I actually did think that Sam being deaf was a very interesting take on his character, and I think it kind of added just a little bit more because it made you feel the friendship between him and Ellie just a little bit stronger than what was in the game. Not that the game was bad by any means, and I actually still prefer Henry and Sam from the game. I still think they hold more weight, but very well done here as well. Pretty much all of the characters here were very good, except Kathleen. Finally, we have to talk about Joel. I think Pedro Pascal absolutely killed it. He is so good in almost everything he's in, but he really nailed it here. They made a couple changes to Joel I didn't like, but for the sake of the show and being in live action, I can understand these changes. But at the beginning, he's not a hardened, badass sharpshooter like he's supposed to be. At least that was my initial impression when playing the games. And he doesn't carry many weapons. But throughout the episodes, mainly 5, 8, and 9, we really see that OG style of Joel peak. When he's slaughtering the entire hospital, when he's torturing David's men, or when we even see him take on at least dozens of infected in episode 5. There are a couple points in which I couldn't believe this guy survived 20 years of post-apocalyptic society, but for the majority, I could, especially in the hospital scene where he absolutely snaps. That scene alone made me fully believe in Pedro's version of Joel, and really made me think, there he is, there's my guy. However, I'm not dissing any of the changes, only that a couple were unfavorable for me, but I still overall greatly enjoyed this version of the character. What I overall liked about the show was basically everything except for a few negatives. These negatives being that the infected are lacking in terms of appearance. We see them episode 5, and then that's about it. We see a couple afterwards, but I mean, I was really disappointed that they didn't keep the enemies evenly paced, from raiders, David's men, or the infected themselves, as they did in the game. But considering they had basically 6 hours versus a 20-hour video game, I guess it's just something I'll have to roll with, even if I think the infected could have slightly been more present. The character Kathleen, though I don't think was acted incredibly poorly, it was weird seeing Rose from 2.5 Men in a super serious role like this, and I just couldn't connect with her at all because of it. And there was almost an entire episode dedicated to her. So I thought that was really lame and took away from the overall story, as it really had no repercussions or effects on the story to follow or the overarching narrative as a whole. However, those are my thoughts and opinions, and I thought the show was really great. Granted, some things were off, and there were some pacing issues, probably just based on time. I would still highly recommend this show to anyone, whether they played the games or not. I do believe we should have gotten 10 to 12 episodes, though, as it would have fleshed out the world some more, and pacing issues probably wouldn't be nearly as present, as the pacing in the show seemed to jump all over the place, and some of the emotional setups were far too fast. But overall, I would highly recommend the show, and now that it's fully out on HBO Max, I would say go watch it. That'll wrap up my review on it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe comment below what I may have missed, but that will be all, folks. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will definitely catch you in the next one. Hopefully I can find some free time and get the rest of those videos out here shortly. Anyway, have a good one. Peace.
Swear to me that everything you said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Okay.